Welcome to another edition of the Professor Joy podcast. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Professor Joy, you're looking well today.
Thank you.
And Steffi, you're looking well today.
Thank you.
Great to see everybody. It is quite the beautiful day outside for late January.
It is, yeah.
It is beautiful. I thought today, Professor Joy and Steffi, that I would share with you a quote of the day.
Oh.
And it goes well with everything that we do in the podcast and on the JoyScore app. And you should join us on the JoyScore app, for goodness sakes. You really should. Here's the quote. Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life.
Oh. Wow.
Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. Because when we do that, you have to be in the present. You have to be in the moment. And so everybody who's watching and listening, here's a question for you. What do you need to let go of to give each day the chance to become the most beautiful? Is there something that you can release right now? Perhaps it's something that you're carrying over from last year, a conversation that didn't go as planned with a friend, or maybe it's something in the future that you're awaiting, like news about a new job or a date or the outcome of plans. When we cling to the past or fixate on the future, Professor Joy, we don't fully embrace the potential for today and all the beauty that comes with it.
Yeah. You know, I'm trying to think where was it that I heard that when we dwell on the past and the future, we tend to neglect the moment we are in. So, if we can just learn to figure out a way to be in the moment, and every day our life would transform to a more beautiful place, because the moment we are in is the most beautiful time, and we have to nurture it.
You know, I think our app really does that because it helps people to grow and to become better in different segments of their life.
Right. It does kind of bring that aspect of balance that we need, so we don't become good at one thing and not so good in others. We just kind of need to be good in everything.
Exactly.
Have a balanced life.
I seen a TikTok not too long ago and it changed my life, like the perspective. It said like, your past is really just a thought, like it's really just a memory, and the future is a thought. So the only moment that really exists is right now.
Yeah.
So that really changed my life, thinking about like that.
So past is a thought and future is a thought.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I mean, you know, we learned from our mistakes that were done in the past, but you hope to always grow from those mistakes.
Yeah.
So, Professor Joy, today I would like to talk about growth mindset.
Oh.
Growth mindset. Okay? For decades, researchers have heralded the growth mindset for helping people overcome setbacks, develop grit, and even raise successful kids. And maybe the most appealing is that more than talent and IQ, shifting from a fixed to a growth mindset is a significant predictor of success. Now, this growth mindset term was coined by a renowned psychologist and Stanford professor by the name of Carol Dweck. I don't want to mispronounce her name. You know, if you think of anything that you've achieved in your life, it is because you grew a particular skill or habit or mindset. And so this growth mindset helps people to see disappointment as an opportunity to grow and learn new skills. What do you think about that, Professor Joy?
That's interesting. So, I like that because I have learned and practiced all my life that architects and designers are problem solvers. So whenever I see a problem, instead of dwelling on the problem, my mind goes to think, how can I solve it? So it's like takes you away from the problem, but focus on solving it, the solution for it.
Can I ask you a quick question? In that architectural mindset of yours, do you see it as a problem or do you see it as a challenge?
It could be either. Sometimes they are problems and sometimes they're challenges. But the good thing is, and this is something I have a belief that if there is a challenge or a problem, the solution does exist. Now you have to find it. So it's like yin and yang. So you cannot have a problem without a solution. It's just not possible. If there's a problem, there is a solution. So now sometimes you have to find it and takes a little longer, then sooner or later you will find it. But the thing which I like about that approach is that you don't focus on the problem, but you focus on the solution. So your mind is kind of moved on to a much better state of mind than focusing on the problem, which is kind of in a way negative. So you move on to the positive way of thinking.
Right. That is such an interesting concept. I have some friends who work for a nonprofit in the world of journalism. It's called the Solutions Journalism Network. And this organization goes around and they work with college journalists. College journalists will come up with an issue that is facing a particular campus. And while they've written lots of stories about the problem, sometimes they have challenges finding the solution to the problem. And so this organization has some very savvy journalists, renowned journalists, who will come and speak with the students and help them to, instead of writing stories about the problem or the challenge, write about here's the solution that the university can use to overcome this challenge that's facing them.
Same concept.
Exactly. Exactly. So with this growth mindset, Professor Joy, here's a couple of things that maybe people can use to help them develop this growth mindset rather than just being stuck on something right now. Number one, shift the way that we speak to ourselves. And by that, we mean that sometimes we are our own worst critic. And the ever-present second voice that we have kind of creeps in and tries to guilt us into achieving goals. And sometimes that voice in our head will taunt us about how far we are from the finish line and draws comparisons to people who came before us who were able to accomplish that goal and things like that. But if you have a growth mindset, it's all about embracing the process of learning and building skills and even knowing when to pivot. We can start by talking to ourselves compassionately as we would a friend. Sometimes we need that voice in our head to be a cheerleader for us. rather than be a negative voice. We need that second voice to be somebody who challenges us, checks in with us, and somebody who acknowledges the hard work that's been put into place. So,
You know, it's all going back to our happiness coach, Connie Rose, where she talks about that we need to be aware and learn how to love ourselves. So this, what you just talked about is that don't be negative and criticize yourself. Learn to respect and love yourself, because her philosophy is that if you don't know how to love yourself, you can't love anyone. It starts with you. So instead of being critical and talking bad to yourself, try to be positive, try to love yourself. And it's kind of a way of embracing the growth mindset. Because when you do that, things become easier. Life becomes easier.
yeah, very true. And we have lots of great videos
Yes,
on the app that can help people
Yes,
to
absolutely.
to hear and listen and
Bring the
understand.
positivity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Number 2, Professor Joy, surround ourselves with others on the same path. One key to mastering this growth mindset is surrounding ourselves with others who share our values, because accountability and community is so underrated and underestimated, and it can have a huge impact.
Yeah.
If we know that there are some people who are on the same goal. I think one great example of that is, if you're only in like a pre-contemplative state about going to the gym every day, but if you knew that your friend was going to be at the gym every day, that will motivate you, because this person has the same values you do about health and fitness, and that will make you want to go to the gym because they'll be there with you.
Yeah.
Actually, this concept of buddy system is a very old concept, where you find someone that you connect with and you become buddy in terms of workout and exercise and on and on and on.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I have that at the gym. I have a buddy who
Actually,
I expect to see every day.
I kind of have a feeling that directly or indirectly, people who are generally there early on when the gym opens, Braden calls us gym rats.
Very true. Yes.
But we are the good gym rats.
Yep.
Every morning we show up and we have fun together,
Yep.
And did you know that, well, I haven't seen you to show up before gym opens. But
No.
about 10 minutes before it opens, like 10 minutes to 5, the people standing in front, and talking, and some of it is even shit talk, but but they enjoy that. It's their few minutes of camaraderie, before they go into the gym.
Exactly.
And I was wondering that what is with them, because they know that his gym not going to open before 5.
Right.
So why do they show up 10 minutes before?
I think it's that camaraderie thing.
Absolutely, it's for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that to them, that 10 minutes of before the gym opens, their interaction, is something they look forward to every morning.
Very much so. For the record, Steffi, pre-pandemic, our gym used to have a spin class at 5:15, and
Okay.
yes, I was there and everything
Yeah.
because Stuart would
Yeah.
take the spin
Yes,
class,
yes, I remember
and
that.
Larry Jackson would
Yeah.
take the spin class at 5:15. So
Yeah.
yes, I was part of that bunch. I was just way in the back and everything because there were these guys, they wanted to get in first. It was so interesting.
Yeah.
They had to get in first. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And, with surrounding ourselves with people on the same path, when you have an accountability partner, as it were, studies show that we're more likely to make it to the finish line.
Yes.
And I think that's very, very
It's
true.
it's true because when you have someone with you, it just makes it easier.
Right.
Yeah.
The third thing, Professor Joy, and this is something that I know that we have talked about in here, but I think it's always worth repeating and repeating again, and that is, setting an intention the first thing in the morning. We're in a 24/7 news cycle. We have unread emails. Social media pulls you in and just sucks you in. I can't tell you how many. I always make my students write a paper that talks about their media consumption. What's the first thing they do, Professor Joy? I wake up, I check my TikTok, I check my Instagram, I check my Snapchat. They won't get out of bed until they check their. What the heck?
Yeah.
They can't get out of bed until they check it. So, it's so easy to get sucked into, that social media chaos and everything. But, so it's like we start our day not thinking about growth. We start our day thinking about noise and negativity and notifications and things that we haven't done. And that can, as you well know, create a stress response.
Yeah. In fact, years ago, someone asked me if I count my blessings. I said, not really. He said, try it. So then I started every evening before bed. See, well, what were the positive things today, the blessings of the day, and I'll actually write them down, So it became a habit of journaling all the blessings of the day. So then I realized that when I woke up in the morning, I was still in that positive mindset of thinking all the blessings of yesterday, and immediately the thought would come, I said, what can I do today which could be positive or act of kindness, So it's like if I have blessings in my life, what can I do to have blessings in others' lives, So that is the reason why I don't have to look at my social media stuff, because my mind is still thinking what kinds of act of kindness I can do today.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, instead of having your body put on high alert and clouds of negativity, instead of doing that, set aside time to breathe.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how many times do we talk about in here, set aside time to breathe
Yeah.
and be mindful? Set an intention in the morning, a positive thing that you're going to do. It can take less than 30 seconds, and it reminds us to be present and to seek growth opportunities. It may be something like, my goal today is to do one positive thing for another person. My goal today is to lead with an attitude of gratitude.
Right.
Things like that. Or my approach today is to be present wherever I am. And these types of small steps can impact our mindset and give us a chance to grow.
And create a new habit.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And create a new habit. Right. Which is what we do on the JoyScore app when we give people a reminder every day. Try 2 minutes of meditation.
Right.
Try breathing.
Right.
Try having fruit today instead of something else.
Yeah.
All things that we do that just make our lives better. And like I said, it may not happen overnight, but these can help us to live a more fulfilling, rich life. It's kind of like you're planting seeds,
Yes.
if you will, and you have no idea how they're going to grow in the future, but you hope and think and believe that they're going to grow into beautiful, positive things.
Well, this concept of, I learned it years ago, called farming, and it's an old concept. I mean, we used to farm to grow food and things like that, but farming is also equally beneficial if you can think in terms of thoughts, ideas. You farm them so they produce positive corp.
Yes.
So this is actually good, and like Steffi said, it gives you something new or a good habit to work with on a daily basis.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. So give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life, everybody.
Yeah.
Excellent. Steffi, thank you.
Thank you.
Professor Joy,
Thank you.
always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody.